Here is something nobody at the dealership told you. That shiny new luxury SUV you financed for $60,000 is already worth less than what you owe. Essentially, worth the less. The auto industry has been pulling one of the biggest bait-and-switch moves in modern history, ripping out the smooth, proven V6 and V8 engines that buyers loved and replacing them with turbocharged four-cylinder engines that sound like blenders, break down faster, and absolutely destroy resale value. Consumer Reports just surveyed 380,000 real vehicle owners, and the reliability data on these luxury SUVs is devastating. IC Cars analyzed 800,000 used car sales and found that luxury SUVs are now losing 50 to 65% of their value in just 5 years. Today, we are breaking down the luxury SUVs that are hemorrhaging value because their engines and powertrains are straight-up garbage. Some of these examples will genuinely shock you. Number 10. Land Rover Discovery. The Discovery has been around since 2018 in its current generation, and Land Rover gave it a facelift for 2021. But new paint on an old house does not fix the foundation. This SUV starts at around $60,000, and after 5 years you can expect to lose roughly 60% of that. That is $36,000 gone. The Discovery runs on a turbocharged 3-liter inline-six with a mild hybrid system. It sounds fancy until you learn what actually happens with it. Consumer Reports ranked Land Rover dead last in brand reliability for years. RepairPal gave the Range Rover lineup 2 out of 5 in reliability, and the Discovery is not much better. Land Rover had to recall 2024 models because the transmission oil pressure could drop and shift the clutch into neutral. Imagine cruising at highway speed, and your $60,000 SUV just decides it does not want to move anymore. Owners on forums have documented needing full transmission replacements on vehicles with under 5,000 miles. One owner on the Range Rover forums said their dealer actually told them a brand new transmission should not affect resale. It absolutely does. These things depreciate, like they are allergic to their own sticker price. Genesis launched the GV80 in 2021 as their flagship SUV, designed to go head-to-head with the BMW X5 and Mercedes GLE. The sticker price ranged from $58,000 to $90,000. But Consumer Reports stripped its recommendation after real owners reported a nightmare list of failures. Owners reported differential problems, fuel pump failures, fuel injection system breakdowns, climate control systems dying, steering and suspension issues, and electrical accessories randomly quitting. The 3.5-liter twin-turbo V6 only manages 18 miles per gallon. You are paying near 6-figure prices for fuel economy that would embarrass a pickup truck. There is a persistent battery drain issue that is driving GV80 owners insane. One owner on the Genesis forums documented their 2025 GV80 dying 5 times in 5 months. The dealer replaced the battery once, but it kept going dead. Consumer Reports ranked Genesis 21st out of 26 brands in reliability. For a brand that is supposed to represent Korean luxury at its finest, that is an embarrassing showing. Number 8. Mercedes-Benz GLE. The GLE got its second generation starting in 2020, and Mercedes has been polishing it with updates since. But Consumer Reports named it the least reliable midsize luxury SUV for 2025. The base GLE 350 runs a turbocharged 2-liter 4-cylinder with a 48-volt mild hybrid system, making 255 horsepower in a vehicle that weighs over 4,600 pounds. That little Turbo 4 is working overtime just to keep this thing moving, and owners are paying the price. Forum owners report the 9-speed automatic transmission delivering jerky, rough gear changes. The infotainment system crashes regularly. The brakes, electrical accessories, fuel system, and climate system have all been flagged as problem areas by Consumer Reports subscribers. RepairPal ranked Mercedes 27th out of 32 car brands in reliability. Annual maintenance costs for the GLE are higher than the industry average for similar vehicles. And that depreciation? After 5 years, expect the GLE to shed around 54% of its value. You buy one for $63,000, and in 5 years, you are looking at a vehicle worth roughly $29,000. That's $34,000 evaporated. German engineering, they said. Number 7. Mazda CX-90. Now here's one that stings, because people had such high hopes. Mazda built the CX-90 as a genuine luxury contender, priced from around $40,000 up to $57,000 for the top trims. Beautiful interior, great handling. It looked like Mazda had finally cracked the code. Then, the engine problems started. Consumer Reports gave the CX-90's powertrain and transmission a grade of just 1 out of 5 for the 2024 model. Major engine components failed, including turbochargers and timing chains. Cylinder heads and gaskets needed replacement. In some cases, entire engines had to be swapped. The CX-90 has been hit with at least 11 recalls since its June 2023 launch. Loss of drive power while driving, engines that will not restart after the stop-start system engages, false emergency braking that slams the brakes in the middle of an intersection. One owner on the CX-90 forum documented 24 separate shop visits in under 2 years. They had the hybrid battery replaced, the headlights replaced within 3 months of ownership, countless computer reprogramming sessions, and the suspension recalled. Their lawyer is now involved under lemon law. Another owner was offered a $500 Visa gift card from Mazda as compensation for making 7 or 8 trips to the dealer in 18 months. $500 for a car that spent half its life in the shop. Consumer Reports expect similar problems to plague the 2026 model, giving it a predicted reliability score of just 22 out of 100. Number 6. The Chevrolet Traverse. This is a big one. Brand new third-generation model for 2024. General Motors was so proud of this redesign they called it the Baby Tahoe. They made a bold move, ditching the tried-and-true 3.6-liter V6 for a turbocharged 2.5-liter four-cylinder, making 328 horsepower, paired with a new 8-speed transmission. Fresh platform, fresh engine, fresh disaster. Consumer Reports downgraded the Traverse after catastrophic transmission failures surfaced almost immediately. General Motors issued a service bulletin in June 2024, just 4 months after production began, about out-of-specification clutch components requiring full transmission replacements. Another bulletin in November 2024 addressed damaged turbine shaft seals that caused fluid leaks. Then another bulletin in January 2025 warned about loose pump bolts that caused even more leaks. One owner bought a brand new 2024 Traverse in May. The transmission died at 3,300 miles, and the vehicle has been sitting at the dealer ever since with no timeline for repair. Real owner feedback on forums is brutal. Multiple people described the turbocharged four-cylinder as sounding like a blender under the hood every time you accelerate. One owner returned their four-cylinder Traverse after 90 days at a $7,000 loss, just to get back into a V6 model. Dealers are admitting they have nothing to sell because nobody wants these turbo fours. Hey, before we get to the next 5, if you are getting value out of this, smash that like button. It genuinely helps this video reach more people. Number 5, the Buick Enclave. Same exact turbo, 2.5-liter 4-cylinder as the Traverse. Same 8-speed transmission, same catastrophic failures. But now, wrapped in Buick luxury trim, starting at $46,000 and climbing past $60,000 for loaded versions. Consumer Reports pulled its recommendation because multiple owners reported complete transmission failures on brand new vehicles. One owner on the Enclave forums said their 2025 model has been in the shop for over 5 weeks. Airbag warnings, lane assist completely dead, transmission problems. Their lawyer has been involved for 3 months trying to get General Motors to act. Another owner said the dealer had to fix the transmission and install a missing turbocharger. A missing turbocharger on a brand new SUV fresh off the assembly line. That fancy 30-inch curved screen randomly goes dark while driving, taking every control with it. Buick salespeople were actually pushing the 2024 V6 models hard, telling customers it was their last chance to get the proven engine. They knew. And to make it worse, Buick slashed its warranty down to 3 years and 36,000 miles. They gave you a worse engine and less warranty coverage at the same time. You seriously cannot make this stuff up. Number 4, GMC Acadia. You are seeing the pattern now. Brand new 4th generation for 2024. Same GM turbo, 2.5-liter 4-cylinder, same 8-speed transmission. Same transmission fluid leaks, same complete replacements on vehicles with under 10,000 miles, same brake problems, and the same electrical accessories randomly quitting. Consumer Reports moved the Acadia to the very bottom of its reliability list. Owners say the turbocharged 4-cylinder gets obnoxiously loud, and it sounds cheap for a vehicle wearing a GMC badge. Some owners reported the front seats are so flat and unsupportive that long drives become physically painful. After all that noise and discomfort, you are only getting 20 miles per gallon. A V6 would likely deliver the same fuel economy and actually sound more refined while doing it. One owner on the GMC Authority forums summed it up perfectly. They test drove the 2025 Acadia, the Enclave, the Jeep Grand Cherokee, the Mazda CX-90, the Ford Explorer, and the Lincoln Aviator. Their conclusion was that the tiny fuel economy gain from the 4-cylinder was not worth the engine noise and cabin harshness compared to every other competitor in the class. GM is losing customers to Honda Pilots and Toyota Highlanders, 3-row SUVs with V6 engines that actually work. Number 3, Volvo XC60 plug-in hybrid. The XC60 PHEV is a second-generation model that launched in 2018. It combines a turbocharged and supercharged 2.0-liter 4-cylinder with an electric motor for a combined 455 horsepower. Quick acceleration, 35 miles of electric range, then 28 miles per gallon in hybrid mode. Impressive numbers on paper. Terrible reality in practice. Consumer Reports gave it a poor reliability rating because the high-voltage battery system is malfunctioning across multiple owners. These are not minor software glitches. These are serious electrical system failures in a plug-in hybrid. When the battery system goes down, your $61,000 SUV becomes a very expensive paperweight. Electric motor problems, drive system failures, and climate-controlled dying are all documented issues. The ride is stiff and uncomfortable, which is bizarre for a vehicle marketed as a luxury SUV. Consumer Reports went from recommending the XC60 PHEV as a solid luxury plug-in to calling it unreliable. And remember, Consumer Reports does not make these calls based on one or two complaints. They analyze data from hundreds of thousands of vehicle owners. When they see high-voltage battery failures across multiple owners, that is a systemic problem. Starting at over $61,000 for a vehicle that Consumer Reports says you should not buy is a tough pill to swallow. The QX80 sat on a platform dating back to 2011 for over a decade before finally getting a full redesign for 2025. The old model was so outdated that it was depreciating at roughly 50% in under 2 years. Owners who paid $75,000 lost $37,500 before they could blink. The tech, the ride, the fuel economy, everything screamed last decade. Now, the 2025 model is completely new. Fresh platform, turbocharged 3.5-liter V6, replacing the old V8, and a massive dual-screen interior. It looks great on paper, but the problems are already emerging. J.D. Power gave the 2025 QX80 a reliability score of just 66 out of 100, which lands it among the least reliable vehicles on the market. Infiniti has been hemorrhaging dealerships and losing brand identity for years. Reliability is a real question here. Buyers are looking at the QX80 and asking a legitimate question. Why spend $85,000 on an Infiniti when the Nissan Armada underneath it looks almost identical inside and costs $20,000 less? The climate controls on the QX80 are on a touchscreen, while the Armada gets physical buttons and dials. That is not a luxury advantage. That is a step backward. After 5 years, expect the QX80 to retain only about a third of its value. If you buy the base model at $85,000, you could be looking at a vehicle worth around $30,000 in 5 years, a $55,000 loss. That is a brand new Honda Accord's worth of money just gone. Number 1, Range Rover, the king of depreciation disasters. A 2024 Range Rover P530 autobiography. Long wheelbase, stickered at $191,520 with options, sold at auction after just 1 year and 4,900 miles for $135,000. That is a $56,520 loss. Enough money to buy an entire brand new Bose Land Rover Defender. And that depreciation is nowhere close to bottoming out. 10-year-old Range Rover autobiography models are currently trading for $20,000 to $30,000. RepairPal gave the Range Rover a reliability rating of 2 out of 5, ranking it 15th out of 19 in its segment. Consumer Reports gave the 2020 model a predicted reliability score of 1 out of 5. The 2024 model has been recalled 5 times by NHTSA. One recall was for the transmission losing oil pressure and shifting into neutral while driving. Another recall was for oil leaks near hot engine components that could cause a fire. Another recall was for the rear camera system failing entirely. One owner on the Range Rover forums documented needing a complete transmission replacement on a 2024 model with under 5,000 miles. They said the dealer had the nerve to tell them it would not affect resale. If you buy a Range Rover for $150,000, after 5 years you can expect it to be worth around $56,000. That is a 63% loss. You are losing roughly $19,000 a year just in depreciation. That is more than $1,500 a month disappearing into thin air before you even account for insurance, fuel, and maintenance, all of which are astronomical on these vehicles. Owners can expect to spend around $18,000 on insurance alone over 5 years, plus $17,000 on fuel. Here is the bottom line. The auto industry made a calculated bet. They figured they could replace proven V6 and V8 engines with stressed-out Turbo 4s and overly complex hybrid systems, slap a luxury badge on the grille, and charge you the same money or more. For a while, it worked. But now the data is in. The reliability surveys are devastating. The depreciation numbers are catastrophic. And real owners are paying the price. If you are shopping for a luxury SUV in 2026, do your homework. Look at the Consumer Reports data. Check the depreciation projections on CarEdge and IC Cars. And for the love of your bank account, do not fall for a fancy badge attached to a trash powertrain. That is all for today. If you found this valuable, hit that like button. It genuinely helps the channel. And subscribe with notifications on so you do not miss our next breakdown. Drop a comment and let me know which one of these shocked you the most. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next one.